Welcome, everyone, to Tier Force Heroes,
Hi.
the best tier ranking show on all of YouTube and maybe other video watching
Number one.
websites.
Literally number one.
We're here. It's the end. We're at the end of Dungeon Week by the time this comes out.
Yep.
Over at ZeldaDungeon.net, and we wanted to do something dungeon related for this month because of that. And we were brainstorming all kinds of ideas, and I think we came up with a pretty fun one, which, as you can see, is ranking the boss keys, big keys, nightmare keys, those type of special keys that you get in the Legend of Zelda series in all the dungeons. And we've got a pretty fierce criteria here,
Yes.
I would say.
Oh yeah.
Though we did make some, there are some that kind of bend the rules for a little bit of fun. I don't know. Is there anything we need to get out of the way before we hop in?
I don't know.
Ready to talk some keys, man.
I think
right.
it's totem time.
All right, everyone ready to totem?
Oh, I'm ready to totem.
All right, here we go. Totem time!
Totem time. Guys, we're professional toters.
Middle fell out.
I want to bring up the one, like, there's one that I feel like is really kind of the exception, but I feel like it's getting to the idea of boss keys. It's really two that are the exception, but that's the magical keys.
Mhm.
We have one for Legend of Zelda and one for A Link to the Past, and the reason I say that is they don't open like a boss door or anything like that. There wasn't that sort of key in those two games, but they are kind of these cool keys you get in the dungeon as a dungeon item that lets you, in Legend of Zelda, it just lets you unlock any locked door, which is really nice, especially
That's
going
sick.
in. You get it in the second to last dungeon, but it really helps out in Death Mountain. I'm trying to remember now, actually, how it works in Zelda 2.
I
Corey,
didn't even remember there
know?
was a magical key
Yeah,
in Zelda
okay.
2. I totally forgot.
Okay. I usually feel like you have like the random Zelda 2 knowledge.
I
That
feel like-
surprises
That's fair.
me.
I don't think it's like it's got to be something you just get in like a town and then it opens like a couple things or like one thing, even if that, because I feel like it's not that big of a deal.
But we'll start with the first. I just kind of want to get them both out of the way.
Sure.
But I think
you definitely have to tell me which ones they are because I cannot differentiate
Starting
all
off
of
with
these
some heavy
keys.
hitters.
so we got the lion. It's the one that looks like
Okay.
the lion.
Okay,
Is
okay,
the
okay.
Legend of Zelda key.
Got it. I'll put that up right here.
So what? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Like, it's a really cool, awesome item.
I like the sprite. The sprite for it is really cool.
Man, we're starting off with a heavy hitter. I was gonna put
Okay.
this in S tier. I think magical key is sick.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay. I mean,
It's the lion. You get it in the lion. It opens
That's
every
true.
key, every locked door, especially in a game where like keys aren't. It's like most games
Yeah.
in the future. It's like you get a key in a dungeon, and it's only specifically for a specific door or a set of doors in that dungeon.
Mhm.
And there's always enough keys, or even sometimes extra. Legend of Zelda, you can run out of keys and be screwed in certain
Mhm.
parts.
Yep.
So this is definitely very nice.
Okay. I mean, I was only thinking, is it held back because it's not a traditional big key, but I
It's
think
the
in a
biggest key on this list.
yeah, I think
That's a fair point.
I think I can see the argument that that wouldn't really sway it. You know what I mean?
However, magical key for Adventure of Link, I don't feel as strongly about.
So Corey, I think why you like the one key more than the other is that I had to do some fact checking here, but in Adventure of
Okay.
Link, the magical key, you get it. You don't even get it in a dungeon. Actually, you
It's
need
in a
it.
town or something, right?
Yes, it's like an item you need for the next dungeon because there are no keys in the next dungeon. So it's
Oh.
functionally similar, but it's like it's not. You couldn't get by without it. And I think what's cool about the
Oh.
Legend of Zelda magical key is it's like There's a lot of like different ways things could go with it. You could get it and go to earlier dungeons. You know, there's people who play the game in reverse order. You could, that you could not get it and it makes the dungeon harder. You can get it, it makes it way easier, so like there's, it affects the game more, whereas the other one's more of a scripted thing.
It's definitely not like a boss key or a big key in the traditional sense, but it's far and away the most useful key on the list, I'd have to say.
Yeah,
I like it.
And
S tier.
Okay.
It's pretty.
I don't
it's
mind.
Lion.
I think it is cool, so I'd give it S tier. What do you think, Nico?
I'm all for it. I mean, again,
Heck
you
yeah.
guys are better at the. I don't want to say old Zelda and make people feel old. We got a puppy.
Uh-oh.
But I mean, I
Makes you
haven't
always-
played it in so long that I don't really remember this, but it's really cool. And based on just what I know about it, I mean, I would probably put it in S tier because we don't get these ever again. So it's like
It's pretty unique. Yeah.
it is really unique, and I think that's super cool.
I think the other one though, I don't think it's like that's necessarily bad. I just think it's like it's not that interesting of an item. So I would actually be okay with like putting it kind of lower. That's just kind of like, it's just an item you got to get.
Maybe like C.
C? Yeah, I don't want to totally trash it.
Yeah, it's not the worst. It's not the worst big key.
Not the worst.
All right.
That's
I'm
good.
sorry I picked 2 there, but
No, it's good.
That's
I think
alright.
those are
Whatever.
2 that like were meant to be together,
yeah.
but also not together on the list.
Let's do what is technically the first big key, which is the A Link to the Past big key.
Yes.
Yes, the one that I will click on.
Yes, that one that
This
I
one?
recognize.
So you're not wrong.
Close.
That's actually 4 Swords Adventure.
Oh my god, you guys!
It's the same. It's the same
All the way on the
sprite.
right,
This
same
one.
row.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first.
You guys are. This is evil.
I'm so sorry. These all look the same. Not really, but
What are we ranking?
keys, baby.
Keys.
Should have done
Corey,
small
this-
keys too.
Let's
Small keys. Ooh, next year we'll do that.
check us out in April for the small key tier force.
This is a heavy hitter for me. This one. So it is the first big key, which I think for all the dungeons you need to get in the boss store, but I think it's because we don't see until the next game, like with Link's Awakening, you get more of kind of the formula, the Zelda formula in dungeons coalesces even further.
Yeah.
Whereas you kind, it's like the use becomes more similar. Here it's still very unique how the big key works, because you need it to open like chests to get like the dungeon item as well, which I think is cool. And you see this in other games, but I think this is the most unique one of like, it doesn't always necessarily unlock the boss door. It just unlocks a further part of the dungeon.
Yes.
Sometimes you could use it really early. Sometimes it comes later into the dungeon. Like you'll unlock it and it's like, it almost feels like you get to another part. And it's often used, I think, very tactically to like ramp up tension sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you're like get into the serious part of the dungeon. I love this key. This is one of my favorite boss keys in the series.
Cool.
I do appreciate the enthusiasm for it, but also this key it's a good thing. This key is one of the only ones on this list that opens up big chests.
Yeah, I
That's
was gonna
the other
mention the
section
big
of this.
chests. I like them.
Which is that's basically how you get the dungeon items of A Link to the Past. So it kind of feeds into what you're saying as like, it's almost like a checkpoint type system thing, because a lot of those dungeons require the dungeon item to get farther in the dungeon, but before you can even get the dungeon item, you got to get the big key. So I think that's a really cool like 1, 2, 3 checklist type thing that those dungeons do use really well. And I like, it's kind of simplistic design wise compared to the other ones, but it was also the first one to do their sick horns thing.
Yeah.
So
Now I have a
like it,
question. I have a question about the art of it, not the sprite, but the art there. Is that meant to represent like Aghanim's bat form? Like, is that kind of what we're looking at, you think?
Could be, yeah.
I mean, I can see
it's
it.
kind of like
to me.
Yeah, I can see that. I like the artwork a lot.
I do too.
Yeah.
I just wanted to include it to like show how, how distinct it looks. The sprite itself, I'm kind of like, oh, the sprite's okay.
It's simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where do you want to put it? Go.
I'd put it in S tier. This is this is like an example of like a great way to like actually like utilize these as a like progression tool in the game, and I think it does it in such a unique way. Like there's like like I can think of other examples like where it uses it in a similar way, but just adding in all the elements of how it also opens up the big chests and all this stuff makes it like so unique to me.
What do you think, Nico?
I do really like it. I kind of was thinking of it as an A tier key, but I mean, I get it. I like the big chests. I really like the big chests. I
was gonna agree with Nico. I was gonna say A.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm sorry, Goo.
Sometimes it's so cool. You get it, and it like opens up like there's a door right away in some dungeons. Like I think there's. Town, it's like whoa, what?
I'm teetering right on the edge because you're talking it up so well. Let's
do this. We'll put it on S.
Flip a ketchup packet?
No, we're not gonna flip a ketchup packet for this one. Let's put it in S.
If S gets crowded, I'll
exactly.
Okay. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. My only downfall for it is that I think there are much cooler designed keys on this list. I'm much more of a visual.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're looking more at the utilization of them.
I don't care about what they do. I just want them to look pretty.
I want them to look nice. Dang it!
I'm gonna flip because I don't know what any of these keys are. Okay, I know.
Do the one with horns.
You could click on one, and I'll tell you what it is. So
I'm gonna look like such a fake fan. Cut this out. Don't show anybody. What keys?
Cut it.
What key is this? What key is this? The Ocarina? This isn't Ocarina of Time, is it?
It is Ocarina and Majora's Mask, the original key.
Oh, okay.
We have both the original and the remakes.
Jeez, we talked about this, and I still don't remember. This is me. Okay. They'll never know.
Nico, you can just grab a key, and then we'll put in post an overdub of you saying the Ocarina of Time key.
I'm not gonna do that.
Way to promise some editing from Goo. I'm gonna pick the Ocarina of Time key. Okay. The reason I'm picking this, we're sort of going in an order. I don't think we won't keep doing that probably, but I mean it's kind of working. Number one, the actual physical design is a little disappointing, in my opinion. But it is a good shape. It's just like it's ugly. It's ugly.
Wow.
So I'm gonna agree with you for the model, the in-game model. It looks chunky and weird. This is one where I was really hoping you were going to include the artwork, Goo, because the official render of this key is the best looking key I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, really?
It's incredible. Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's because you know why? Because like in N64, you know when they do that era of official artwork, especially with shiny things, they go super overboard with the reflection. Yeah, it just looks so shiny and nice and like I love it.
I feel like I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the artwork.
I put it in the Discord. I put it in the chat. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How did I miss it? I'm not gonna lie. I gravitate towards these like shiny like they almost look like balloons. Like, it's
they really do.
Like Mylar balloon.
It looks like a Mylar balloon. 100%.
Actually, I got
this
the artwork.
the
It
N-
looks amazing. Yeah.
yeah,
The
the
artwork looks real good.
N64, that era of not even just the official artwork, but also in-game models, anything that's shiny or reflective, it's like they bump it up to 2000, and it's like pure chrome with
It's
like light reflecting in different ways. It's so cool.
I mean, here's the thing. So Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, I guess we can say, because it's the same model, right? As far as like the big keys go, they're pretty cut and dry, straightforward what they're used for, right? It unlocks the door.
Mm-hmm.
The boss door every time.
And it's like the big like chain, like cool, simple, it works. So I mean, it's like it almost kind of took a step down from A Link to the Past in that aspect, that it wasn't so much like, ooh, big progression, like next step of the dungeon. It was like, oh, here's the final stage, time to use the big key. And it's, in most instances, it's the last thing that you find, like the last major thing that you find in the dungeon. Sometimes you find it early on and you're like, what the heck? But I don't know, like it's a cool key. I do like, I looked up the artwork too, and the artwork is really nice. In-game model is like
Can confirm.
And the actual
Everything
usage
in
of
the
it is
original
like
Ocarina of Time
fine.
and Majora's Mask is a little
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Majora's Mask is my favorite game,
No,
but
hold on. Let's not go that far.
listen, they're not pretty.
There is still like with the big key, even when it doesn't have that crazy like versatility as A Link to the Past, in a lot
Sure.
of games, they do a good job of like yeah, sometimes it's the last thing you find, sometimes it's not. Like you find it, but then you still can't get to the boss room because you need a small key, or like you gotta
Yep.
move a pillar, something like that. And I think it's hard because we're kind of combining these all, so I can't really say like
Sure.
it's used better in this game or something. But like they usually find creative ways in Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask to like implement the boss key. It doesn't feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel totally formulaic necessarily. And the chests, I don't know, we're not talking about the chests, but the chests look really cool.
The chests are beautiful for the big keys in this game. I agree.
The blue and gold, it's pretty sick.
Those are very pretty and shiny, very shiny.
It's not like one of the best.
I'm okay cutting some slack to. I like most of the keys, most of the big keys on this list do kind of function that way, where the only thing they really do is literally open up the last room. And I think there are only a few exceptions, so I'm more treating those exceptions as pluses that they do other stuff.
That's fair.
Rather than being a detractor that a key doesn't do that. So
there isn't one that's like, it's like, oh god, the boss key. You know what I mean? Like that's just And
they usually in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, they usually don't just like hand it to you the room before or anything like that. You usually have to go off in like a side room or a different corridor to find it.
I'm like specifically thinking like Great Bay Temple, right? You go in there and you can see the chest for the big key fairly early on, right? And you're like, oh, how do I get over there? I want it, like, that's the big key. I want to get it. And it takes you a while to get over there. It's your second time back in that room that you have to get it. So, I don't know. I like kind of being teased like that. And it's like, oh yeah, I got to get to that. It's exciting to find. So, I mean, it's still a good use of the key because it is an exciting part of each dungeon, you know?
Yes. Yeah. There's a, I think it's pretty
Anyways,
solid.
this is a pretty key, so S tier.
S tier?
Corey Richmond.
I'm not kidding when I say the render of this key is the sickest key I've ever seen.
S tier is going to be real crowded if this is what we're gonna
have to meet in the middle. That's fine.
Well, my suggestion was gonna be like the A tier area.
I would like to put it in A tier.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I just gotta top load.
You gotta
so it's not
plant
too
your
low.
flag. Yeah. Okay, I get you.
Proud of you. I'm proud of you, bud. I'm proud.
You talked me up. I was thinking like, oh, it's fine, but then I was like, I mean, yeah, it looks really good.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, wait, whose go is that? Oh, it's my go.
It's back to you, Goo.
Okay. What do we not got? Well, okay. I want to talk about. So we kind of combined. Well, first of all, we separated Link's Awakening from the remake just because the artwork is a lot different.
Yep.
Obviously, the look is a lot different. But then this is like really strange. But then we combined Link's Awakening with the oracles because the sprite is the same, and functionally, like they're pretty similar, you know. So it all works out. And so I want to do the Nightmare Key / Big Key or whatever from the original Link's Awakening and Link's Awakening DX and the oracles.
It's like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle for me trying to figure out which one you're talking about. I'm like, okay, so
it's
those
the one with the horns.
Like, I don't know.
It's the one with the horns, and like
it's the one.
There's a scary
one with a red
face on it.
Yeah, it's the one with a scary face that's got some red and then horns.
Okay, so wait,
it's the final one with 2 pictures. We have the Link's Awakening artwork,
yeah,
and the sprite.
This is so painful.
I would have advocated.
Amazing.
I would have advocated to separate them, but there is no official artwork for the Oracle's key, so I'm just gonna. I think it's fair to assume they're probably just going off of Link's Awakening.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So I want to say, you know, all of the this is one where it's like where the formula comes into place. You know, I feel like fully. So you're getting small keys and the big key and doing other puzzles, but this is still one where like it was like very new, and I feel like it was like because the dungeons don't have like in Link's Awakening there's a couple like Eagle's Tower, but they don't have these sort of big gimmicks like later ones have. Like it is all tied up in like often the keys and you know how you obtain them. So I automatically think of this one more positively. Like I have more memorable this might sound kind of weak, but I have more memorable associations with like finding the boss key in this one than compared to like Twilight Princess. You know, it just feels like it's not super big of a knock against Twilight Princess, kind of like what Corey was saying earlier, but I do just think of like the progression of these dungeons in association with the keys much more strongly. Whereas in like Twilight Princess, it's really about, you know, moving the big mechanisms and doing all the crazy dungeon stuff. You know what I mean? I think boss keys are really just there because it's Zelda at this point, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's great. It's not the best. I would argue for this one to be an A tier, but what do you guys think?
I was looking at either A or B. I think my first response would be to put it in B, just because design's cool enough. They took the Link to the Past artwork and made the face red. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I like what you're saying with having memorable. I do think in terms of, because it does something similar to what Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask do, where they usually don't just give you the key right away. It's usually off in like a separate branch or an offshoot of the dungeon. I think even more so in Link's Awakening and Oracles. I think like the placement and the navigation with the boss key is even more effective in those games. But it might just be my weird Oracles mental block thing, but I don't ever remember getting the boss key in the Oracles, but I do remember it in Link's Awakening for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking
That's
B,
fair.
but I could be talked up to A as well.
I think it depends on the game. I feel because I can see like Oracle of Seasons, like that one actually does have more like, oh, this one you're in the. It's not really about the keys. It's like you're doing the Indiana Jones thing, or you're doing these kind of. There's more gimmick type stuff in that.
Yeah, more gimmicky in the Oracle games. So it does kind of just open the boss door.
Do you have a strong feeling about it, Nico?
I mean, my original thought was I don't love the sprite work. However, I know that it's handheld, less sprites, like less pixels to work with, so that makes sense.
It's true.
Compared to
it is like
the Link's
I
to
do
the Past
gotta
one.
say, like the sprites of all of the keys we've seen so far, I think are cooler. And we're even talking about the two NES keys.
Mm-hmm.
I think those have cooler in-game designs than this one. But the artwork's cool, so it kind of cancels it out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nico, your argument about the chests actually do kind of matter a little bit, because there's like in Tail Cave, it's cool. They tease you with the Nightmare Key right away, but it is just like, I'm pretty sure it's just a regular chest. But that's still enticing nonetheless, but
Oh,
not
yeah.
as much as look at the gold and blue,
Yeah.
you know.
I do like
Well, they do-
the fancy grandeur chests for the big keys. But
Link's Awakening dungeons are good at that too, that little tease. It teases the chest sometimes, but it also teases the boss door a lot.
Yep.
Which
Oh,
is
big
nice.
time. Yeah.
But again, I don't know if I could say the same thing for oracles. At least I don't remember them doing that much.
I think that element is there, in my opinion.
I would personally
say.
I was gonna say low A.
Oh, I was gonna. Oh, okay.
What were you gonna say?
That answers my question, because I was gonna say I say B, Goose says A, Nico, you pick.
I'll say low A.
So below Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
I see the pros and cons of both.
Yeah. I do love that it is so similar to this design, and they're like, hey, it's a design that works. Let's stick with it. Like, think about talking about the logos, you know?
Similar to the sprite. It's another one where I love the sprite work in the Game Boy games, but that sprite is like weaker than the rest of what's in the game.
Fair.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. That was good.
Okay.
Thanks for telling me which one it was.
Yes, I had a lot to say about it, apparently.
So it's mine now.
Mm-hmm.
And just to keep going off of this little train related, let's do the Link's Awakening 2019 boss key.
Yes, okay.
Nightmare key, sorry. Different name. Different name in Link's Awakening.
So it's the one, it has like a scary face
It's
on
like
it.
red, and then it's got horns.
Actually, it doesn't have a scary face. Actually, I can't even see it right now.
Yeah,
is it this one?
It's the one that's off screen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, now it's right next to an identical key.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was like, I'm pretty sure it was this one.
This is making me think, like, I feel like we're gonna be a little crowded up in the upper. We might have to do some realigning later on as we put more of these on. Because
we can do that.
I'm thinking of this one compared to the one that we just ranked, and it's literally the exact same as the Link's Awakening Nightmare Key. Mm-hmm. The only difference is the design change, which I personally like better in this new one. It's hard, you can't really see right now, especially us looking at this little thing. But like if you look at the actual high resolution artwork or model, you can see very closely underneath the red gem, there's a little squiggly little smile that looks like a little monster smile underneath the eye. That gives me big Mike Wazowski vibes. And I love that.
Okay. Oh my god, I totally see it.
You see it, right? Yeah, go open up that picture and zoom in, and you'll get big Mike Wazowski vibes.
It is it's very Mike Wazowski.
Oh yeah, that looks really cool.
I didn't even notice that. I love that.
Well, so that's why I think the design is cooler, and it does all those effective things that we talked about. The chest gets teased a lot. The placement in the dungeons is usually done very well with the navigation, and they tease the boss door a lot. So I'm tempted to put this one in A, but I also think because of the connection of the oracles with the last one, I feel like I like this one better because it's just strictly that cool Link's Awakening stuff and a cooler design.
For me, it makes the other one stronger because it has the oracle connection. Because I like those a lot. I like those dungeons a lot, but if I don't know. If Nico, if you feel like this one is above it, we could do it in like that one in A and the other one in B, like move.
I really do love the Oracle Key. However, I think this one is just really nice. I think this one is very good. It's a really good design. And I like that they really did change it up. Like it's not this bat-like face. They didn't try and fully recreate that. But
it's reminiscent, but it's different.
Exactly. But it's like it's a little classy. It's a little like creepy.
It's a little classy.
It's a little
fancy. Mysterious.
It's simple in a good way.
I would personally do this.
Okay. That's fine.
Gooey hates it. Gooey hates it, but that's okay.
Gooey's done.
I'll agree that I like the design a little. Yeah, I think that's a little better. So, sure.
All right.
Take that, Goo.
Yeah, Goo, take that.
Whatever. Go on.
We're gonna go to the next one, which I think
yes.
This one
yes
is from Cadence of Hyrule.
Yes.
Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so we were talking about this in our group chat. It does not open boss doors, right?
No, this one
we
does.
Were talking about
this one
the
does.
Four Swords Adventures one.
Four Swords Adventures doesn't. Yeah, that's a whole different.
That's right. Okay, so Cadence of Hyrule is admittedly not my favorite Zelda game. I love music and I love Zelda, but I'm very bad at. Well, I watched you and McKenna play it. It's tough.
It's tough, yeah.
It's not my gameplay style at all. I don't vibe with that, unfortunately. I think it's a really cool game. I played the Skull Kid DLC, of course, because I'm like, it's Skull Kid, I have to. Took me forever, and that was like right when it came out. However, key design wise, for the style of the game, it's like pretty cute.
I think it's cute.
It's a little wonky because it's like the gigantic head, right?
Kind of a weird shape.
But I mean, that's just like kind of the design of Cadence, right? Like it's fair. And then also the bosses in that game are really cool. So I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with the key itself. It doesn't, but like, cool.
It unlocks better bosses.
I like this key better because it unlocks better bosses. So I think it's like a fine key. It's not like outstanding. It's like it served its purpose, Yeah. But it's not outstanding. What do you think?
Yeah, this is one I would fully rank based on design because like we were going through talking about all the usage. We're getting really nerdy about the usages, but this is very
nitty gritty about key usage.
Yeah,
there's some unique key usage in Cadence, but the boss key is very like you just get it and you open up the boss door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's I mean it's cool, but like style wise, it's just like okay. It's okay all around to me.
I don't have a big frame of reference for this.
Okay.
Design, I don't know. I don't think it's one of the stronger designs on the list, but I do
it's
like
probably one of the most boring keys on this list, if we're being honest.
In the bottom 5 most boring. Maybe.
I mean, I mean, is it D tier? I don't really think so. I think the design is cute.
Probably not.
I would say C.
Let's do C.
Yeah, C for Cadence. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, it fits. I think it fits along with that key. Yeah.
Yeah.
C for could be a cooler key.
C for could be cooler with Cadence or the Crown. C tier.
So yes. I don't see it on the screen right now, but we should have done the Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask 3D. We should have doubled that up.
Well, we should have done it. I wanted to do the Cadence of Hyrule key because I knew which one it was.
I did beat this time. I'm not judging your pick. That was a great pick, Nico. No, great pick, Nico.
Don't pick on me.
I mean, your pick, that was not a good pick to talk about, but let's, no.
Trash pick, but let's move on.
No.
You're so mean to me.
This one, I think, does it really just comes down to, do you like this design better or worse than Ocarina of Time, and how
I
much than the original?
I love this key. This key is sick. I think
it's
it's
make
really
good
cool.
use of like the skull in the middle. That's like, well, it's a skull in the other one too. But I'm gonna be honest.
It's a shape.
What's that?
What do you think, Goo?
Well, this is just my opinion. I know this. Some people be mad. I've been turning recently where I find the original graphics of the original games more charming now as I get older.
Sure.
I think they like objectively look better in Ocarina of Time, if there is such a thing. They look better in the remakes or whatever. Everything looks detailed. I think it maintains a lot of the vibes of the original, but I personally now when I see sometimes when I just see that stuff, like when those high quality renders of the original sprites and stuff came out, I was like just looking at them going, whoa, this looks cool.
Dang.
So I don't know. I like it a little bit. Me personally, right now, I would probably put it on the same tier, like just like a spot above it. But what do you think?
That makes sense. Okay.
I actually would put it in B tier.
Okay.
Because I think, you know what? I think the skull is a little too much. It's a little too much for my a little too much for my taste in keys, I gotta say. I don't want to be grabbing my key and be feeling the skull. I don't want my key to bite me.
He's like, you want to open the door, huh?
I think the shape of the key is like design. They don't.
This is going very good.
I'm like, I love this, and you're like, D tier.
Well, Nico,
I think
you didn't
what
really
saves.
get to say, did you?
I like it because it's so ridiculous. It's literally like a full skull on like attached to a regular key, which I think is hilarious.
It's true.
But it's like, whose skull is that? Is it a real skull? Was it designed like that? Is it? What are the things called? The actual skull enemies? What are they called again?
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Is it a bubble? Is it a bubble that just went?
Could be.
Red bubble.
We don't know. We don't know.
I think if this was like an original key out of nowhere and not a remake of an existing key, I would like it more just because it's like, whoa, dang, they put a skull in the key. But it's like the original one had the shape of the key, and they were like, what if we made it actually a skull?
Yeah, and before it was just a jewel.
Come on.
Like a skull-shaped jewel.
A nice shiny jewel, and they just made it a matte key. A matte
Personally,
skull.
I just think it's not shiny enough, and it doesn't look enough like a balloon. Okay, A tier? Because, Nico, you were thinking S, right?
I was going to say
what
top.
What the heck is going on?
Do we have a cat attack?
Oh, it's going crazy.
Maybe we get a tie-breaking vote here.
What does the kitty vote for?
You hear that?
I heard A. A! A tier it is. Perfect.
Nah, she said the skull is too much.
Yeah, okay. Don't go putting words in your cat's mouth. It's staying in A tier. Perfect.
Okay, I heroically chose that one. So, Corey, now your trash pick.
Okay, my trash pick. Corey, get it out of the way.
Welcome to Corey's trash pick.
All right. We got one that's a little bit more of a creative one. I want to know how you guys feel about the Goron Mines key.
Ooh. That's this one, right? I'm kidding.
Yep.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nico, you can go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I think it's cool. I think it does have a little bit of, this is going to be key nerd about it a little bit. I think it has some wasted potential because I think it's cool concept getting the different pieces, but you do kind of it is just like, here's piece one, you keep going. Here's piece two.
Yeah,
keep going,
you're literally like walked into the room and it's like, here's the first piece.
Yeah.
Here's the next piece.
It would be cool if it was scattered in different parts of the dungeon that you had to kind of traverse around. But as far as I can recall, Goron Mines is like there's some backtracking later, but it's a lot of just you follow the loop, get the pieces of the key.
Yeah.
It's more aesthetically, which I think aesthetically is very cool and
there's-
conceptually.
There's a key that's not on this list, where it is like that. It is a scattered key that you have to find all the pieces of from Skyward Sword, with the first key that you have to use the dowsing for, right?
Is that
the one there's the key to get into
Is it the Earth Temple?
the Earth Temple, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have to
Yeah,
find
yeah.
the shards.
And see, like, that one was actually like, oh, you have to explore this big area and like find the 5 things, and there's like little puzzles to like get each one, right? This one,
Mhm.
like you're saying, did have a little bit of wasted potential in that you basically were forced to find all 3 pieces because you walk in and the old Goron's like, here's the piece of the key, go to the next room. It's like, okay, cool.
Exactly.
Thanks, Gramps. But it would have been cool if it was like, ooh, do a little test of strength to earn this shard of the key, or I don't know. It was just going through the dungeon straight through to get them. But it is a very cool key.
Yeah, design-wise
actually-
and still like getting them all is cool. Sorry, Cora,
Yeah.
what were you saying?
Design-wise, I actually don't think it's that cool. It's not that pretty. Not a very pretty key.
But
Okay.
know,
it's
it-
steampunk.
On the level of horns, it's at a 0.
There's
no
it does have
red.
0 horns.
There's no eye,
Not a skull in sight
no skull. Yeah, come on.
or a head of any type of creature.
Yeah, what is this?
I actually think because of the wasted potential, it should go in D tier.
I-
Why split up the key into
Whoa,
pieces?
that's pretty-
If,
D
and
for
then the
Gorsh.
design. There's
D
no
f-
skull.
It's D. Should we rename D tier G tier
D
for
for-
Goron?
I was gonna say D
G-tier,
for
yeah.
don't have a skull. I don't think it's D tier. I think that's a little. I think that's a little harsh.
I'm just planting my flag like you planted your flag.
Okay, oh, come on. All right.
No,
Goo wants
I'm
low.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Goo wants to lean it low. I was thinking
It doesn't
B
have to be
or
D. Oh, okay.
I was thinking B or C.
I
The only
think
thing,
it's-
you know what? The only thing I like in concept putting the key together. And the only thing that is really redeeming about it for me is that when you put it together, it's supposed to be like you put it in and then it's like a wheel or like a
gear.
spigot, like
Yeah.
like
Like
faucet,
a gear
like a
or
gear.
something. Yeah.
It's like what, like you turn in something on a pipe or whatever.
Yeah.
But
It's all steampunk.
You don't get the no motion controls. That's garbage.
yeah, that's exactly.
I actually can see it alongside the C tier ones because it's another one where it's like this is a cool concept, but like the magical key, it's like, well, you just kind of have to get it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not actually fully explored.
It's really just a regular key that they happened to put into 3 pieces. It basically, like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if it had horns and a red eyeball, I would like it more.
I agree.
that's
yeah.
fair. You want to put it like right there?
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
That's cool. Like, they tried. Good job. You tried.
Key. C for key.
For key.
C for key tier. Okay. Is this the Phantom Hourglass key? Is that this
No.
one, or
Actually,
No. That's a Link Between Worlds.
this is a Link Between Worlds?
yes.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
see the Phantom Hourglass one.
This
It's
is the
obviously
Phantom
hiding.
Hourglass.
There it
key.
is.
I was like,
Hey.
I know it was one of the short, stubby ones. I couldn't remember
Yeah,
which short,
they like to
stubby
make
one it
those
was.
The big thick ones.
Yeah, big, thick ones. Well, let's go with the Phantom Hourglass one because that's what I'm thinking of.
Mhm.
I personally, at first, hated these keys because you had to carry them, and it was very obnoxious. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get killed and I'm gonna lose the key and I'm gonna lose the game and it's so stressful and it's the hardest video game I've ever played and I'm 12 years old. But
Said
honestly,
the same thing the other day.
but honestly, I like the concept of a big key that is literally so big, it is larger than Link. He has to carry it above his head and sneak around the bad guys to get it to the door. I think it's a fun concept. It's unique and it's kind of silly. And I think the design is like kind of quirky and fun, and it's got horns, so that's automatic ups.
Oh, horns, yes.
It's got horns
And an eye, a single eye.
It's better when it's a skull,
But I'm don't start with me. Don't start with
skull
me.
versus eyeball.
But I'm curious your guys'
I'm
curious your guys' thoughts on these keys.
I agree with you pretty much.
Yeah.
It had me think, it's sort of a tangent, but it had me thinking we've had many characters in games act as small keys or, similar, like Rudo, Princess Rudo. You need her to like progress certain parts in the dungeon. It got me thinking like this is the closest to that as like a boss key. It would be cool if there was like a character like that you had to carry around, but there is something that like makes the keys like it's like an escort mission almost. You gotta carry it around. Sometimes you like throw it so you can run away faster.
You have to bail it and just run. Yeah.
I think that's like unique points for me. Like using it in a unique way gives it, more points. So I don't know how strongly I feel about it, but I do think it's fun.
It's cool. It's a cool idea. I like.
I'm pretty much on the same page as you guys. I think the design is cute. It's just supposed to be like a little chibi Phantom Hourglass version of the Wind Waker one.
Yeah.
Look, the proportions are insane. There are no keys like this in the world. But I do think it's fun that you just like open up a chest and like lift the thing up, and then it's like immediately once you get it, like I feel like the tension ramps up because it's like, oh god, I gotta get this past these enemies and throw it into the huge lock.
It is so funny. It's pretty hilarious.
It is goofy. I think I would put it in. There's a nice little slot in B tier right there that's got its name on it.
I think that's fair. I would probably put it just because of its creative use. I'd probably put it above.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think that's a good spot.
All right. Do we want to do A Link Between Worlds key since we're talking about it?
Sure.
I think this one it's just more of like it's similar to like the Nightmare key, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just opens up.
Yeah.
Do they do the thing? They don't really do the thing where you unlock different parts of the dungeon, do you? In A Link Between Worlds, it's always like used on the boss door. Or
I don't remember opening any.
I can't really. I think it is just the boss door.
Yeah,
because I don't think there are any spots where you open up a really big door and then there's more.
So I think for me, this is like it defaults it then to like it's good and it's like purely I think design alone that's really gonna kind of make it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
I do like the design being sort of opposite of how previous versions of the horns were, where like the mask part was above the face, where this time the mask is like sunken in.
Yeah.
So it looks like it has a hood. I think that's kind of cool. It's true. Like it's like a hooded horned creature. I think that's really cool. But it's like not fancy as far as like usage. It's just like straight up regular old key that you use to get into the boss. So
pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where to put it.
I don't think it breaches the upper echelon. I'm looking at B or C.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a ketchup packet that has not yet been flipped.
No, we're not flipping ketchup.
Let me say I'm partial to I'm partial to B.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
I'll throw it in B.
Hold on. I think you do use it. No, never mind. It is okay.
Okay.
B is fine. I had to fact check myself. I was like, "Do you?"
Yeah.
And then I think that says a lot about that. Is that it isn't as memorable, you know?
And you might expect it to, but it's not. It's kind of just a nice, simple boss key. It is kind of just like a spiritual successor to the A Link to the Past one, except it doesn't do as much of the cool things.
You know what's interesting right now to me is that C tier. All three of those, in my opinion, are ones that I just wish were better. Like all three of those, I'm like, I want.
Could have been a cooler key.
Could have been a cooler key. I want those to be better keys. Like, this is why we make these
right?
tiers, is because we're criticizing because we love the game so much that we're like, we want these to be S tier. But it's
Speak
like,
for
it's
yourself,
not.
I hate them.
I hate Zelda!
It's B for better key than the ones below
A is like, yeah, good keys.
it. Break into an Australian accent there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good
Oh,
keys.
yeah.
That's not a key.
And then S is for, well,
Sweet key.
sweet key.
Sweet K. That's what
Oh, no.
Okay.
Corey, I think it's you.
Let's do this one.
I think I know all of the keys that are left over, so I think.
Yay.
I wanna. Let's do the Minish Cap one.
Okay.
Yeah, this one, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was like, that was the only one I wasn't 100% sure what game it was from.
So I'm kind of conflicted on this one too, because it's like, we coming off of talking about the Link Between Worlds one, where you would expect it to do some more cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In the Minish Cap, it does some of that cool stuff.
It does.
Like there are certain dungeons where it opens up like an entire another huge section of the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Like particularly
droplets.
Yeah,
It's
Temple
right
of
away.
Droplets. You get it. You open up the next portion, and then you see the big old frozen Octorok.
And so it's like, it technically opened the boss room, but then there's a lot you got to do afterwards.
in that dungeon too, like the key is frozen in a block of ice that you need to complete a puzzle to get it to melt too. So I think the boss key just shines super hard in that dungeon.
It really does.
But design wise, it's not great. I don't think it's just the eyeball.
Blue.
Yeah, why is it blue?
Yeah. I don't know. It's the eyeball, but it's literally just the eyeball, and the horns. But
I think it's honestly, I think it's the best sprite of all the 2D key sprites. Like I think it's better. I think it's stronger. Like it's simple. I'll give it that. But I think.
Do you mean handheld or do you mean just all 2D?
I think like the sprite based games. I guess I'm saying. Well, maybe not the.
I like the lion better, but
the lion.
I was gonna say the lion is really sick.
Yeah, sorry. I mean to say like A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening.
Okay,
the original. I think those sprites. It looks better than that. It does. I think it has a little bit of cuteness to it, like that fits along the rest of the Minish Cap, but. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad design wise.
It's also like weird looking, because the other ones, the ones that have even lower pixel counts, it's fine when you make them bigger because it still maintains like the crispness. But this has way more pixels, so when you blow it up outside of the proportions that you would normally see it, it looks kind of weird and fuzzy.
Yeah.
But like in the game, it looks cool, you know?
Yeah. I think in the game, it looks pretty neat.
Not big enough for a big key.
In
fact, it's by definition, it is very small for a big key because you're literally shrunken down in the Temple of Droplets. So this is a very small key.
That is
a tiny key.
That's a small big key. So I mean, where should we put it?
I'm kind of torn on this one. I really don't know.
My suggestion would be B, I think. I think there's enough to put it above the could have been better, but I don't think it's super special or anything.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with that.
I would propose to put it here.
That works.
Yeah.
I
think that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, those are all I feel similarly about those.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, sorry, that was cool.
Well, let's do Wind Waker. Because honestly, the purple is really sick.
Yeah, that does look really good.
I love the purple.
This is the OG eyeball key. In a world where keys were just skulls and horns, Wind Waker dared to be different. And it said, you know what? Eyeball. And the other games after were like, yes, eyeball. That's what we've been saying.
That's what we should have done the whole time. But we keep the horns.
Broke the curse of the skulls.
This is the best of the eyeballs, I think, too.
I would agree.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're like literally all the other eyeball ones are just based off of this one.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
This cat is going crazy right now.
We've got like ambient purring in the episode, which is nice.
Yeah.
ASMR a little bit.
Welcome to ASMR Tier Force Heroes.
I really like how the big key is used in this game.
Go.
So personally, this is one of my all-time favorite key designs in the whole series. Because I love the purple really shines, like, stands out for me. It's my favorite color. It just, like, it looks good. It is the eyeball. It's got the horns. It's super shiny. And the actual, like, key, the teeth,
the shiny key,
having the, like, hooks are also, I'm pretty sure the first ones to do, like, straight up just, like, hooks on the key, which is kind of silly too. But overall, I think it's like it reset the design for keys. So it obviously had a big impact, and it's a really pretty key. I would probably, and plus it's the Wind Waker key. It's a good key. Going into, if we're talking boss doors in Zelda games, Wind Waker does a real good job on boss doors.
Those doors are crazy.
They're huge, and like unlocking them is like, oh yeah, that feels good.
The chains drop, the thing spins and recesses into the door. And,
yeah. They do a great job. I would personally put this like high A, in my opinion.
I would put it in A as well.
I was gonna say low A, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm okay with A.
You want to put it in
high
low A? Gooey,
Yeah.
What a trash opinion.
And for me,
trash, just like your last pick.
Go on.
For
Gooey.
me, it's purely based on really the look. I think it's one of the best looking keys.
Yeah,
this is one where in the games where it's like you start to question why were you what's the deal with keys, you know, like what's up with keys. And I think it's got Wind Waker's got key boss key usage, but not great.
Well, I think we're kind of us being fresh off of playing the Wind Waker. I'm kind of thinking of some that I actually think are pretty strong, because there's like Forbidden Woods where it has its own room where you got to do like the cool little boomerang puzzle once you get the boomerang. And then in Wind Temple, it's like an entire offshoot underneath the fan. You got to like go into a separate room and go, or maybe that's to get to the boss door, but it's in a separate offshoot. It is. I feel like it's used pretty similarly in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
So A?
So A, yeah.
That's fine.
Beautiful.
Listen, I like Wind Waker better than Ocarina of Time. I'm openly
I'm
saying
looking
that.
at this list, and it's just like a bunch of keys with horns. Like,
why do you think I was having trouble at the beginning when you're like, okay, we're gonna do this key? I'm like, which one is it?
It's funny we were talking about like uniqueness, and then we're like, but those.
It is funny because it's like the ones in A tier are all like they have horns, they're the same shape, and they have like a pinkish purple thing here. And then the ones in B are like similar but a little different, and the ones in C are just a little too different.
Too different. We need our keys to look one way.
And then S tier is like the OG horn key plus a lion going
plus a lion.
That lion's got horns. Look at that.
Yeah, no, he does not. He just has little fluffy good boy ears.
Little floppy ears.
Okay.
Gooey? That's you, right? Yeah, Gooey?
Sure. Let's do the Hyrule Warriors boss key.
Okay.
That is like, it looks horrible, right. I think.
It's...
This key is insanity. Like, I was talking about the Ocarina of Time remake key where you grab it and you're like, oh no, it's a skull. This is like you're holding a skull and shoving it into a lock.
The weird thing is, out of all of these keys, even the Goron Mines key, this one looks like it's probably the heaviest. It's you can tell
We should have been ranking them based on weight.
Okay, well then, Phantom Hourglass would go like up to the top because shit, that's huge.
That's gigantic.
Oh man.
I think I enjoy playing Hyrule Warriors, but this key is ugly.
I didn't remember there was a boss key in the game, and I played it like a few months ago entirely. I played through the whole story. I don't remember there being boss keys.
I honestly don't think there are any in the main story.
Okay,
I don't remember them at all.
I'm pretty sure they're only if you can find one and it unlocks optional things to do.
I think you should put it in D for I don't remember this key.
This is the classic case of just the one guy taking it too far. It's like people were coming out with these really cool key designs, like, oh, it kind of looks like a skull and it's got horns, and then the guy was like, I made a skull with horns.
It looks like Skeletor. I don't need a Skeletor key. He's like, meh.
Yeah, I don't.
No, we don't need it.
This key skeeves me out.
Sorry, Hyrule Warriors, you're a cool game, but you tried too hard.
Too hard.
Go take your rock music somewhere else. All right, what's next, Corey?
Let's go. Let's do. All right, I feel like we should get it out of the way because we're in the area. I don't like the Four Swords Adventures key either. I think it kind of sucks.
But it just looks like a little monster going. Eh.
It looks like it's the Link to the Past key.
I could have made it bigger, yeah.
It's the Link to the Past key, but they added an extra little nub on the bottom to make it not even look like a key anymore.
It just
looks
also
it looks like a little guy.
It doesn't open boss doors, or it does, right? But it don't.
No, I think we looked it up.
This is the one we were talking about, and it's like you get it in one of the palaces, and then in the next room, it opens a chest with 1,000 force gems, and it's like, why'd we even do this?
Yeah, the keys are arguably better than this boss key.
The regular keys.
The regular keys.
Yeah.
The standard keys.
I mean, you do that with this one, but I feel like you do the same thing of you're fighting over them and stuff. But with this one, it's not even cool. It's not for something cool. Well,
There's
you
no
get the
reason
same
to fight over it.
You functionally get the same thing in Four Swords Adventures. You unlock a door, and they usually are okay, here's 100 force gems or whatever. But in this, it's they hype you up it should be better, right?
No.
I think D tier.
Boo.
Yeah, this is D tier.
Unless we're wrong. I was we played this and every year, and I was trying to remember the boss keys, and I looked it up, and all I could find was that it unlocked some stupid chests. Or
Four Swords Adventures is so much fun. It's such a fun game. This does not matter.
Not because it's key.
No.
D for doesn't matter.
Or boss
D
key, at least.
for don't think so. Let's do the Twilight Princess key.
It's got an eye, a red eye.
So this one is weird because I've never understood. It looks like the pole, the what is it called? The thing that you use
Dominion
to control
rod.
Dominion rod. It just looks like that to me. I don't understand this design. It looks cool, but I don't fully understand what it is.
It just kind of looks like Gothic style to me.
Yeah, but then
castle or something.
What's the red ball? Did they just put that in there to look like the other ones?
Looks like something out of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It does. I don't know. It feels like not as try hard as the skull.
No.
In Hyrule Warriors.
Not at all.
I'm there's too much going on with this key. I don't know.
I actually think it's simple enough where it works fine. It's like that. I appreciate it for trying something different. It's kind of
I agree with that. Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but I also am that's a big spooky looking Gothic key. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely not anything super special, but I like it.
Honestly, if I didn't know it was from Twilight Princess, I'd probably tell you it's from Kingdom Hearts or something like that.
Okay.
It literally doesn't look like a Zelda key, but it's because they tried something different. Another game tried something different and did a much better job. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just fine.
I don't think it could go in the red eye horn tier. That's exclusively for red eyes and horns.
Yeah.
You want to do B?
I like it. I think I like it better than the any of the C tier stuff.
Yeah.
Personally.
I'm
a little too different.
No
hint of red eye in sight.
I prefer conformity. No, it is actually too, like it's another one where I guess I remember getting boss keys because they usually have some set, like in Wind Waker, they'll have like that one room, they'll have a set piece or something, but like I don't know. I never really care too much getting. There's one that I think is better in the game that we can talk about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I would put it in low B, I guess, or high C. I don't know.
I was thinking low B, right there.
That's cool. That's cool with me.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like whatever, but there is a better key.
Let's talk about that key.
Let's talk about that.
The bedroom key. It's the same thing. It's just cool, like a cool, unique item because it's in Snowpeak or whatever, and it's the bedroom key.
Nico, naughty.
It's in the shape of a heart. What can I say?
It's like the honeymoon suite key, except it's their bedroom.
It's a cool design. I like it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish that we would get more cool one-off keys like this.
For sure.
Throughout the series. I think it would be cool. It's like, hey, there's this big special room in my house. Go in it. Here's the special key. It's okay, cool, thanks. It's not the exact same as every other key in the game. It's completely unique, and it's actually a cool design.
I like
it.
I don't know. Everything about this I like. It's just because Snowpeak is so good at making everything make sense because it's part of their house and they live there. Mm-hmm. And everything surrounding the big key and the boss room, it's all tied into the theme of the dungeon. It's Yeto and Yetta. Yetta's not feeling good. They're pointing you to different parts of the dungeon. And then it's like, oh no, wait, maybe it's in the bedroom? Can you go get the key? I think I left the key over here. Yeah. And it's like, that makes sense for the key to be in this random room because it's her house. She just left the key there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a fun design for a dungeon. It's silly, right? But it's my favorite dungeon in Twilight Princess, and I think it's a lot of people's because it's so different. They were just like, hey, what about this a chateau up in the mountains that's been abandoned and taken over by two Yeti? It's like, okay, cool. It's a fun idea, and this really does add to the story of it a lot.
I think it's made better by, I can't knock it. I was thinking it's made better more by all the things surrounding the key, but I don't know, they make the key. You can't really extract that from the rest of the dungeon, You just say it's just a key, Because similar to how I like when you're having to navigate, this one doesn't have that final element of they give you the key right before the bedroom, but they tie the key into the exploration of the dungeon because you're looking around for it, and
they could have made it a plain old big key like the rest of the game. They really could have. Mm-hmm.
True.
But
no one would have questioned it. Yeah.
No one would have ever questioned it. It just would have made sense. But they decided to make it make sense, And I think that extra step is what's kind of oh, cool. They actually thought about this, and I think it was very smart.
And the fact that it's followed up by the not take mirror moment and the
take mirror.
Beautiful love fest afterwards, and just it's just so touching.
The fact that you get your heart container from the love and not from killing something,
and the key has a heart.
It's so cute.
That key unlocks a great cutscene.
It does. I mean, a lot of these do.
That's true.
But this one specifically unlocks one specific good cutscene where you get pushed to the side.
I gotta go S tier.
I would agree. I would agree, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a supreme key.
That's not, I don't know if I'd put it that high, but if you both are gonna do it, that's fine.
You were outvoted with your trash opinion, Goo.
Yeah. Get out of here, Goo.
And that's it. That's the list. We
This
don't have
other
any more.
one. We gotta like rotate onto the screen
Yeah.
to make it fit into the tier.
All right, so we're gonna talk about Skyward Sword's boss keys,
Lumping them all together.
lumping them all together.
Which kind of does it a disservice because they all have unique,
it really
distinct,
does.
cool designs. I think.
Yeah, they do.
I would highly suggest looking up every one of these. They're all in the Zelda Dungeon wiki. Just go look them up. They're cool. Like, look at the designs on each one of these. There's really cool details on all.
They
of them.
thematically tie into all the dungeons. Particularly, I like the cistern, ancient cistern one. I think is really cool.
Of course.
And the squid one. I like the squid one too.
Yeah.
These are just
And
good
it's
keys.
unique. Like, they're used similarly, like in the progression of just you find it and unlock the boss door. But then when you get there, this could depend on your interpretation of how fun this is. Some people might not like it, but I think it's really cool. That's one of the best uses of the motion control is you have to twist it.
Yeah.
To like it's not that difficult, but it's kind of a cute little. It's like a fun little thing, I think, before every boss fight.
It's a fun little puzzle.
Yeah. I like cool little spatial puzzles like that where it's like you have to like visualize like, okay, if I tilt it this way and then go like this and then that's pretty sweet.
I think I'm trying to remember back to my first playthrough of Skyward Sword. And I mean, it was a while ago. But I remember getting, because is it the dragon is the first one that you get, right? For the Earth Temple? Is that that's the first like special key that you get, right? Because there's not a special one for Skyview.
I don't remember.
But I remember getting it and just thinking like, what
the heck is this?
What is this? And like you get to the door and I'm like, oh, this is a key.
Excuse me?
What?
And no horns, no skulls. D tier.
How is this is a bad key.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's call it. That's good.
All right,
I just remember that moment of realization as like, oh, this is a puzzle. I actually like have to put the key in the door. And like I rotated it and I got it and I was like, how come this hasn't always been the way we do? What? I hate this. This is awesome.
It even would have been cool, like if it's just like they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to make it a cool puzzle. They could have just made it still like a first-person thing, but you just turn the Wiimote.
Yeah.
But instead, they were like, no. Let's make it like a sculpture that you have to fit into place. Oh. That makes a giant thing.
Use that Wiimotion Plus. I don't know. Overall, I think these are like the coolest keys in the whole series, in my opinion. Each one is so unique. It's themed around the dungeon. It's got a puzzle attached to it. And getting every single one felt like its own little adventure. Like, really good keys. S for Skyward Sword. What do you...
Yeah, well, we can't put it in the A tier because of...
It doesn't fit.
It does not have horns or red.
I'd be okay with S. I think there's other ones I'd rank above it. Like, to me, it's like, oh, that's a cool novelty. So it doesn't make it the best, but I think it makes it like it does make it one of the most unique, one of the most standout ones. So if you were gonna want to put it in S, like I'm totally down with that.
What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I'm all for S. I agree. These are the coolest keys, coolest uses of keys.
You were worried about S getting too clogged up. I think if this is good.
This is good.
One might even say it's almost P-shaped.
Almost.
So close. It's been hard with this amount, We made do with what we had.
That's a good list.
This is a great list, actually.
Is a good list. I actually don't think we have to move anything. We did a good job.
Yeah, I think we've got, if I were to describe it, I would say we've got the kind of the super unique ones up top.
That's true. The classic
ones in A. I think in B we've got pretty good ones that have some unique charms. C, we've got some that are disappointing. Yeah, a little different in C.
Too different.
Or B. C is like they could have been better, and then D is like these are in the game apparently.
Trash. I'm putting that one below. Trash.
D for didn't even try.
Oh,
so yeah, I think there's a certain logic to this that I really appreciate.
I'm a fan. Yeah. I was worried that I would go into this being like, I have no opinions on these keys, but I do. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right, well, that concludes Dungeon Week. I don't know when this comes out exactly, but I'm calling it
grand finale.
It's fun. It's been all leading up to this. I don't know what the big article was, but
was it worth it?
Was it? That'll be the thumbnail. Dungeon Week. Was it worth it?
Just Photoshop horns and red gems in front of our faces.
All right, well, you've got about like a day or two to get on that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, all right, well,
we hope you guys enjoyed. We'll share the list, and we'd love to hear your opinions on how we were wrong. So,
comments.
Like, comment, subscribe, do all that.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Nice.
Do you think they saw me pick my nose?